Alright, so since I didn't want you to have to sit through every single little thing that I was going to do to kind of arrange this into at least the first 54 seconds of a track, and matter of fact, that's a little bit soon. Actually, what I'd probably do to really start this off is when I came up with a synth, or come up with a synth, or just use a bass, or a synth loop or something, and then kind of create an intro, and then this would be kind of the build-up section, or at least where most of the beats there, and we have a first bass, and then we go into the good bass, or the big bass. Okay. Now, for a little bit of arrangement, what I've done here is that I've taken this, and as you can see, I've gone in and I've done some different pitch bending things in here. Some of them I've left that alone. And then right here at the end, I've got a nice long climb. That's what I was wanting to do before. But just on the upper end stuff, here on the lower end, I cut it off a little bit early, and right at the end of the bass loop, because it didn't quite get to 32 bars the way I had it. And then that's where I have this bass right here, the loop that I put in. And of course, basically I've got a fader on it so that it starts off to where it's almost gone, and then really rises up in volume as the pitch of this part goes up. Okay, and of course that's where we have all the other stuff, the RoboVox, and that cymbal, basically all pushing us into the next part of the song. And then over here I added in a new bass line, which is still dubby, you know, it's got that dub hit pattern to it, then a little bit of stuff to break it up here. This is just a pure square wave, which keeps it kind of similar in sound to the main bass that we've got going on. And then right here at the very end of it, I've added in a nice long, I don't think I want it to be quite that low, bar here that's at a much higher octave, or it's a higher note that's playing, so it's not really a bass anymore, so we're out of the bass area, so that's part of the drop. It's just a real nice way to fill out the top end, or it's a riser basically. The pitch goes up and so does the volume. So basically it's this is just a nice simple way to create roughly a minute, it's a little under a minute, of a track, and this basically gives you a good middle section and then your chorus or your hard hitting bass. And you could basically double this and then say have the volume on the bass much lower right at the beginning of the track, or not even have any bass at the very beginning of the track, and then, you know, have an intro and then kind of bring in the beat part. You know, I don't want to bore you with all the little stuff because a lot of the arrangement is so personal. I'm afraid that if I show you exactly how I would do it, you're going to feel that you have to do it that way, and that's just not the case. Alright? You don't want to do it the exact same way as anybody else. Alright? I learned a lot from watching Rusko's masterclass videos, and I've learned a lot from watching, I think it's boyinaband.com. He has a bunch of videos. I learned a lot from his dubstep tutorial, even though it's on Reason that he does his work. You know, I've learned a lot from other people, but I always just take it as tips and tricks and things that you can use in your own way. So, since I'm using a program not a whole lot of people use, it makes it a little bit more of a challenge. Okay? So, let's go ahead and create an intro for the track. Let's just go ahead and pull down here and select everything, and we're going to go ahead, and since we're basically working with 16 bar segments here, we're going to go ahead and just pull that over 16, which actually makes it to where it'll hit at right about the 55.5 point. I've seen people ask questions about why so much dubstep has the drop right around 55 seconds. This is why. Because if you're working in bars rather than any particular amount of time, 32 bars at 140 beats per minute is roughly 55 seconds, a little bit under right there. So let's go ahead and make an intro, and I think we'll start off the track with that vocal bit right here, and we're just going to have that repeat a few times here at the beginning, over and over again. See how that sounds. Okay. And I think we're just going to go with something a little simple. In fact, we're going to go completely off a regular beat, and we're just going to go ahead and do a 4 to the floor clap here. For a ways. Okay. Okay, no, I don't like that. Doesn't quite work. It's a little too much right from the start. Let's see, do we want to use any of the bass? Let's copy that. And we're just going to use the first bit here. And okay, so we've still got this over here. Let's go ahead and bring down the volume on that some. Go ahead and start it at about 75 and have it wrong button. Delete that and then have it kind of rise into not have any right at the very beginning. Alright. So that gives us a But if you had a subwoofer and everything, you would be getting a little bit of that bass popping through, just hearing a little bit of it. So that gives you a nice little basically a first drop, or not a drop, but a kind of a rise into your first major bass line. Okay. And we've got some, I didn't borrow the movie term and just call it greeble, the Dectronic thing there. Alright, and let's use, where's our little blip at? Didn't I have a blip? There it is. Let's go ahead and start putting our bass in right there, our kick drum. But we're only going to put it in, say, every couple of bars, so it's more sparse. And then go ahead and put the clap in here. midpoint. Basically doing the exact same kind of pattern as a regular beat over here, but we're extending it out a lot. I'm going to use the wood snare like this and have it drop out as the bass kicks in right there. Then we're just going to go ahead and go in a bit closer, and we're going to use a little blip. And then we're going to switch over to the ride. And let that continue on into the main beat. Don't really want the crash cymbals in there yet. So let's just go ahead and continue this on. Let's see how often is that. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Every other. Okay. So, right. That'll kick in just as that first Dektronic thing is completely fading out. Alright, so let's see how this will sound. Course, instead of looping it back around, what you'd really want to do is, say, take those 3 hits right there, come over here, and you'd probably drop those in like that, along with the Dektronic bit. That lasts just about that long. Basically have a whip, a roll here, and then go ahead and repeat our so that does this. this is a loop down here, we can go ahead and have that just continue on. Kind of freaky sub bass here. And then just go ahead and grab, say, we've got our other bass over here. See if that's going to cooperate. No, it's not. I'm waiting to copy it. Necessarily, so we're going to go ahead and move that and then come back up here and get our beat. Okay, so far we're up to about alrighty, and then from here we're going to go ahead and just copy that all over again. Paste that. That we need that symbol because we're going to have it crash out. At the end of that bass, we're going to crash out the song. Alrighty, now let's go ahead and listen to the whole thing. And of course it is going to be a bit repetitive at this point, because we haven't done any other variations in this parts. There are these parts, you know. Because basically, how you can do some variations is, say, make some duplicates of one or both of your mid-range synth, and we're going to go ahead and delete that one. That one, both of those, and then so we've got 4 different ones right here. And I mean, you can just detune them, would be one way to do it. You can add in different soft synth, or in this case, just go ahead and put it on a different track and change this wave from like a so that you just get some slight variations. Listen to the whole thing. Obviously, it'd be wanting to go back in, make a few changes. Probably would want to go ahead and put each of these on its own synth, and then maybe add in a different synth in there, just some different things to kind of break it up, make the bass line a little bit more interesting so it's not quite so repetitive. Maybe go in and add in a few extra drum hits here and there, take a few out here and there, you know, to break up the repetitiveness of it. Maybe change the octave on this one so that it's a bit higher, which is dead simple on Acid. You just hit the plus button on something that's selected. And maybe for that one, go ahead and duplicate this and get rid of all the duplicated ones over here, but add in another soft synth to do some extra stuff with these two or whatever. Maybe go ahead and toss in a different synth altogether for these two, just to give them, as I said, a bit of a different feel, and then use that synth on this one so it ties in the first bass line with the rest of the bass, so that you get some variation in there. This repeat of the first bass line will be more intense that way, but of course you still don't want it to be as intense as your main bass. So the easy way to do this would just be to add in a third soft synth. Okay. doing some of that stuff is seriously weirding out the sounds. It's detuning things and making them sound a bit weird. But it's just one way you can do things. And there you go. You have an interesting, if hastily thrown together, dub track. So thanks for watching. Please rate the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to keep up with other videos that I'll be putting up, and I'll have a link to my website underneath the video, so please visit my website sometime. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this informative, and I'll see you later. Bye.